I'm going to say something that might sting. We spend our whole lives trying to figure out who we are, but what if a single number, the last digit of the year we were born, holds a mirror to the pieces of our soul we're too afraid to face? What if that number whispers the truth we keep running from? I want to take you back to a moment, a memory, that's probably more familiar to you than you'd like to admit. Picture it. You're standing at the edge of something new. Maybe it's a new job, a new relationship, a new dream that terrifies and excites you all at once. And your heart is pounding so loud, you're sure the world can hear it. That's what it feels like to carry the energy of a soul born in a year ending in 0 or 1. It's this strange, heavy weight of beginnings and endings. I remember talking to a woman born in a 0 year. She told me how, no matter how far she ran, she always found herself at the starting line again. Every time she dared to hope, dared to build something, it felt like the ground moved under her feet. Like she was forced to begin again, before she ever had a chance to feel safe. She called it bad luck. I called it exhaustion. Then there was a man born in a 1 year who confessed, in the quiet of a late-night conversation, that he felt haunted, not by ghosts, but by the ache of unfinished chapters. He was always looking for closure, always searching for the clean break, the neat ending. But life didn't give him that. Life gave him loose ends. And it left him feeling like he was chasing a finish line that kept moving farther and farther away. Here's what I've seen in these souls over and over. They carry fear that no one talks about, a fear that no matter how hard they try, they will either fail at the start or fall short at the end. That maybe, just maybe, they were meant to live in this endless loop of trying and losing. And so they either never fully begin, paralyzed by the pressure to get it right, or they grip so tightly to the outcome that they miss the beauty of the journey. Psychology has a name for this, the tyranny of expectation. We are taught, from the moment we can walk, that our worth is tied to achievement, that starting strong and finishing well are the only things that count. That the middle, the messy, complicated, vulnerable middle, doesn't matter. But let me tell you what no one says out loud. The middle is where your soul does its deepest work. That woman who kept starting over, she wasn't cursed. She was brave enough to begin again, even when the world gave her no guarantees. And that person, so brave enough to begin again, even when the world gave her no guarantees. And that man longing for closure, his gift wasn't in the ending. It was in learning to live inside the question, to find peace even with the loose ends. And here's the soul truth for those carrying the weight of beginnings and endings. Your worth isn't in how beautifully you begin or how perfectly you end. Your worth is in your willingness to stay when it's messy, to stay when it's hard, to stay when you don't have the answers. Because staying, that's where the real courage lives. I want you to imagine this. You're sitting in a crowded room, surrounded by people who laugh and talk and connect with ease, and yet, deep down, you feel like a stranger there. You smile, you nod, you even join the conversation. But inside, there's this hollow ache, this quiet voice that says, you don't really belong. That's the silent battle of souls born in years ending in 2 and 3. They are the seekers, the ones who crave connection so deeply it hurts, and at the same time, fear it just as much. I remember a friend of mine born in a 2 year who once said, with tears in her eyes, I feel like I have to earn every bit of love I get, like it's something I have to audition for. And any day now, they'll decide I'm not good enough. And it broke my heart because I saw the truth of it in so many of us. And then there's the soul of the three. I think of my cousin, a man who always kept people at arm's length, who made jokes about his own loneliness because it was easier than admitting he wanted more, who would rather sit in silence than risk saying something that might lead to rejection. I asked him once, "Why do you push people away when you're aching for connection?" And he said, "Because it hurts less to be alone by choice than to be left behind." These souls, the 2S and 3S, carry a wound that is as old as humanity, the wound of belonging. Psychology calls it attachment injury. When we're young, we learn whether love is safe or dangerous. We learn whether it's something we can trust or something that slips through our fingers. And if we're hurt early, if we're abandoned or made to feel invisible, we grow up believing that love is something we have to fight for, prove ourselves worthy of, or protect ourselves from. And so the 2 soul becomes the overgiver. The person who says yes when they want to say no, who bends, twists, and shrinks themselves to be liked, who loses pieces of who they are trying to hold on to people who might never stay. And the 3 soul? They become the fortress, the one who builds walls so high no one can climb them, the one who convinces themselves they're better off alone because vulnerability feels like too big a risk. But here's the painful irony. Both souls want the same thing: to be seen, to be held, to be loved for exactly who they are, no masks, no games. And both souls are terrified they'll never find it. What I want to say to these souls, the ones exhausted from chasing connection or hiding from it, is this: you don't have to earn real love, you don't have to audition for it, and you don't have to run from it. The people who are meant for you will see your soul and stay. You are already enough. And the greatest act of courage is to let yourself be seen, because belonging isn't about fitting in, it's about standing in the truth of who you are. And trusting that's where love finds you. When you find yourself, you are prepared. When you find yourself, you are prepared. You are in the room of your light. You are prepared and born in the room of your light. When you find yourself, you are prepared. There's a kind of soul that is always searching. You can see it in their eyes. The hunger, the ache, the quiet desperation to find it. And sometimes even they don't know what it is. Souls born in years ending in 4 and 5 carry this restlessness like a pulse beneath their skin. They are the ones who lie awake at night asking, is this all there is? I remember a man I met at a retreat, born in a 4-year, who said, I feel like my soul is on fire, like I'm meant for something bigger, but I can't name it. I just know I'm not there yet. He had a good life by all accounts. A job, a family, a home. But there was a part of him that felt like he was standing at a window, watching his own life pass him by, wondering when it would finally feel right. And then there was a woman, born in a 5-year. She sat across from me and admitted something I think so many of us are afraid to say. I don't know how to choose between being who I am and being who the world expects me to be. I want to rebel, to break free, to live wild and true, but I don't want to let people down. She was torn between duty and desire, between what was safe and what made her soul come alive. These 4 and 5 souls are the restless searchers. And what breaks my heart is how often they think the answer is out there somewhere, just one more accomplishment, one more move, one more relationship away. But no matter how much they chase, no matter how many miles they put between themselves and their old lives, the restlessness follows, because it was never about the job, the city, the partner. It was always about what's happening inside. Psychology calls this existential anxiety, that deep gnawing feeling that we're missing something, that our lives should mean more, that we should be more. But here's what we don't talk about enough. That anxiety isn't proof you're lost. It's proof that you care, that your soul is awake, that you're brave enough to ask the hard questions. I see these souls wear themselves out searching, always hoping that the next thing will finally fill the void. But the truth is, peace doesn't come when we find the perfect path. It comes when we stop running long enough to hear our own heartbeat. When we stop looking outside ourselves for the meaning that was there all along. Your purpose isn't hiding out there in the distance. It's not waiting for you in the next city or the next big thing. Your purpose lives in how you show up. Here, now, in this moment. It lives in the way you love, the way you speak truth, the way you dare to be fully alive. And for the restless souls, I want to say this. Your search is not a curse. It's your soul's way of calling you home. There's a particular kind of quiet heartbreak that lives in the souls born in years ending in 6 and 7. These are the souls who have known what it means to trust and to have that trust shattered, who have loved deeply and fearlessly only to find themselves standing in the wreckage of promises that weren't kept. I think back to a woman I once spoke with, born in a 6th year. She had this way of speaking that was soft, cautious, like every word was weighed before she let it out. She told me, "I don't know how to trust anymore. I don't even know if I trust myself." She had been betrayed so many times that she had started questioning her own judgment, wondering if she was somehow at fault for not seeing it coming. I sat down and I pulled everything out of my fault bucket and that's what betrayal does. It doesn't just break our trust in others, it chips away at our trust in ourselves. Then there was a man born in a 7 year. His walls were so high you could feel them when he walked into a room. I remember how he said, almost as a joke, "I've learned to expect the worst in people. It saves me from being disappointed." But beneath that joke was a man exhausted from the armor he had to carry every day, a man who longed for closeness but was terrified of being hurt again. These souls know the sting of betrayal. The friend who walked away when you needed them most, the partner who broke the vow, the family who didn't protect you, or maybe even the ways they've betrayed themselves by staying silent when they should have spoken up, by shrinking when they should have stood tall. Psychology calls it relational trauma, and it changes us. It makes us smaller. It teaches us to scan for danger instead of connection. It convinces us that safety is in isolation, that if we keep people at arm's length, we'll stay whole. But here's what I want to say, as gently and honestly as I can. Betrayal may be a part of your story, but it may not be the whole story. But it does not define your soul. What defines you is what you do next. Because hidden inside the wound of betrayal is a quiet, powerful gift. The gift of resilience. The ability to rise, not hardened and bitter, but softer, wiser, clearer about what you deserve and what you will no longer accept. I've seen it in the woman who finally learned to trust herself again, who stopped blaming her heart for being too open and started seeing it as her greatest strength. I've seen it in the man who let his walls come down, brick by brick, and discovered that love, real love, is worth the risk. The truth is, every scar you carry tells a story of survival. And while betrayal may have tried to convince you that you're unworthy or broken, your resilience tells the deeper truth. You have been hurt, yes, but you have also healed. You have learned. You have grown. And your soul is braver than the people who tried to break it. Your scars don't make you unlovable. They make you human. They make you real. And they make you capable of loving in a way that is deeper, kinder, and more courageous than before. So if you are a 6 or 7 soul, let this sink in. Your strength isn't in how well you can guard your heart. Your strength is in your ability to keep it open, even when it hurts. There's something profoundly heavy about the souls born in years ending in 8 and 9. I see it in their eyes, the way they look like they're carrying more than just their own story. And the truth is, they are. These are the souls who come into the world already feeling responsible for something bigger than themselves. I remember a woman born in an 8-year. She was the kind of person who could hold everything together: the family, the work, the friendships, the expectations. She carried the weight of generations on her back, as if it was her job to heal what came before her, to fix what was broken, to fulfill every unspoken dream that others never got the chance to chase. She told me once, "I don't know who I am without the pressure. I don't know what I want, only what everyone else needs from me." And I saw in her what I've seen in so many 8 souls, a deep exhaustion that comes from trying to be everything for everyone. Then there was a man born in a 9-year who sat across from me, staring out the window like he was searching for something he couldn't name. He spoke softly. I can't let go of anything, of people who've hurt me, of plans that didn't work out, of the past. I'm afraid that if I stop holding on so tightly, everything will fall apart. And in that moment, I realized he wasn't clinging because he was controlling. He was clinging because he was terrified. Terrified that if he loosened his grip, he'd lose not just what he loved, but himself. These souls carry the weight of legacy. And not just the legacy they want to leave, but the legacy they feel chained to. The expectations of their families, the patterns of their ancestors, the hopes and dreams passed down like heirlooms. Family systems theory teaches us that we unconsciously carry the emotional unfinished business of those who came before us, believing it's our duty to right old wrongs, to succeed where others fell short, to protect the people we love at any cost. And because of this, 8 and 9 souls often struggle with the fear of letting go. Letting go of control, letting go of perfection, letting go of the roles they've been playing for so long they don't know who they are without them. They think if they put the weight down, they'll fail the people who depend on them. They think that holding on is strength, but the truth is, sometimes holding on is what keeps us stuck. What I want to say to these souls is this: you honor your legacy not by carrying its weight, but by living your own story. You don't heal the past by breaking yourself to fix it. You heal it by choosing differently, by setting down what was never yours to hold, by daring to ask, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And for the ones who fear letting go, let me offer this truth. Control is not what keeps us safe. Love is, trust is, faith is. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to open your hands and release what no longer serves you. Your soul wasn't meant to carry the whole world. It was meant to shine in it. So, to the 8S and 9S, you are allowed to stop proving. You are allowed to stop clinging. You are allowed to simply be, and that is enough. So what does the last digit of your birth year say about your soul? It doesn't define you, but it does offer a mirror. It shows you the patterns you inherited, the battles you fight, and the truths you're here to claim. Your soul came here with work to do. Don't run from it, don't numb it. Listen, the number is just the echo. The voice, that's all it